Good morning, all the teachers. At the outset, I congratulate Toshniwal Arts, Commerce and Science College for organizing this faculty development program. I also thank organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge on this platform. Today's topic is ICT in teaching learning. Few years back, people used to recognize someone if they are good at their subject. But now that scenario is changed. They are asking, other than your subject, at what you are good at. So it is always good to have other skills apart from our subject. In this video, I'll be sharing how to create Google Form, Google Classroom, and how to add students, how to interact with students, how can we share the information with students. So let me share my screen. Okay, so first we'll learn how to create a Google Form. Go to Google and then type simply Google Form. If we type Google Form, then it will take to their official website. Click on that. Now here you can see that go to Google Forms is there. You click on go to Google Forms. Okay. Now at the beginning, if someone is using first time, it will ask for sign in and it requires Google account to sign in this Google Forms. Because I have already signed in, it is directly taken to this web page. Otherwise, if somebody is new, it asks for the Google account details. So once you give your details, it will take to this page. So whatever we are having here, this is how Google Forms web page look like. Here you can see there is a blank plus symbol to create a new form, and there are some predefined forms are available here, which one can use it if necessary, and we can alter also. And below to this, you can see that there are recent forms. So owned by me, owned by anyone. So here, whatever Google Forms we have created already, that forms details can be found below to this. Okay. So this is how this Google Form page looks like. Now, generally we go with starting new form. So start a new form, click on this blank page to create a new Google Form. So we'll click this. If we click on this, this is how it look like. Here, there is an untitled form. Here, questions are there. Okay, for example, we'll give a name that demo on creating Google Form. Okay. And here you have to save this one so that whenever you want to access this Google Form later from your recent forms, so this better to give some name here. It is not necessary that this name and here it is both should be same, but if we keep it same also, no problem. Okay. If at all this is a longer form, then we can have here a smaller name just to recognize. Right? So we have given a title of our form, demo on creating Google Forms. Okay. Now the thing is, this is how any question look like. Every question have this one commonly. You can, if you see this plus symbol is always to add a question, and this TT it represents title and description. We can give below the description, and here you can add a video, or if you want you can add a image to the question. Okay, fine. Now let's go to first question and see how one can create. So if I click on this first question, untitled, example, I'll say writing, for example, I'll write first question. Okay, just now once you start typing this, you can see in this drop down there are different types of question formats are available in Google Form. First one is short answer, paragraph question, multiple choice question, checkbox questions are there. Then drop down is there, file upload. One can, if question is suppose asking upload your photograph, then one can use this file upload, linear scale, multiple choice grid, and checkbox grid. And of course there is also availability of date and time. Okay. So these are all the different questions available in Google Form. One can use according to our needs. Just to say, for example, we'll see one or two questions quickly how one can create questions. We want to say, suppose select short answer question. So short answer question answer is usually expected in one line maximum. For example, I'll ask here, what is, for example, who is the, I'm sorry, there's some problem. Who is the current education minister of India as of today? This is my question. Obviously, it is we can give as a multiple choice question also, or single short answer question also. So if you want, you can give as a short answer question. Then it will be student has to give the exact name of that person. Okay. Otherwise, if we can give for multiple choice, here there will be different options. Mr. X, Mr. Y, and you can keep on adding options how many we want. Now, when it comes to here, there is a duplicate. If we click on this, this question will be duplicated next time. Accordingly, we can make changes. And if we click on this, this question will be deleted. And this required, if you see here, if you enable this, this question is a compulsory question. One should answer this question to go to next one. Okay. So this, whether enable or disable, one can do it. And in these three vertical dots, if we go here, there is a description available about that question. If you want to give some particular description, we can give this, or go to section based on answers, that I'll explain later once we come to sections. And shuffle option order. So if we click on this shuffle option order, different students will see these options differently. Not only shuffling the questions, we can shuffle the order of the for a particular question also, that we can select from here. Okay. Right. Now, so just go to click on this plus symbol to go to next question, or if it is similar to that type of question, you can click on duplicate. So click on plus. So if we click on plus symbol, next question is ready. For example, we want to select checkboxes. So we'll click on checkbox type. Our question is checkbox type. Then select the, suppose, what are all educational apps by Google. Suppose I have given this. Here I can write here Google Forms and Classroom, Google Classroom. For example, I'll write here Facebook. These are all some different options where there may be more than one correct option. At that time, we can use checkboxes. So checkboxes are used for creating more than one correct answers. Okay. Then you can keep on, suppose I can give this, I click on this duplicate, so that next question is same, it is, you can change accordingly. And if you want, you can make it required and so on. So in this way, one can create how many questions we want, depending on which type of question it is. So you select the question and you can do it. This multiple choice grid, if you click on this multiple choice grid and checkbox grid, they are just like matrix type. So there will be some rows and as well as columns. So here rows, for example, here it is about quality of a person, or how you will rate a person, behavior of a person. Okay, so suppose I'll write here behavior of a person. So rows represents some three persons, suppose Mr. X and Mr. Y, then Mr. Z. These are all three persons. Now in columns, we'll write their properties. So for example, aggressive, is very aggressive, suppose, or cool nature, or you can say good human being, and so on. If we keep on writing this, then for Mr. X, these three will be there. We have to select one of them. Similarly, for Mr. Y, if you want to see, you can quickly how that question look like. This is the, for example, the behavior of a person, Mr. X. For Mr. X, Y, Z, this common attributes we have given. one should select according to that person. Okay, fine. These are all the different types of questions available in Google Form. One can create according to their needs. Once you are done with creating questions, then there are other options which one should know it. If you click on this responses button after once you submit your Google Form, whoever submit the answers, then under this response tab one can see, at present you can see here 0 responses because nobody has submitted answers to this question, this quiz or this Google Form. Okay. So the responses will be seen under this tab, namely responses. Okay. Whoever submit the Google Form, we can see their details here. Now we can customize our Google Form in terms of theme. So you can click on this customize theme. There we can have, so if I click on this customize theme, then these options will come. Theme options, like one can choose header. Suppose there are already predefined headers are there. I can, for example, I select this. Okay, then insert. If I select header, then here it will be visible like this. If you want, you can change colors. Theme color one can change, and background color also one can change. Fonts style. So these are the basic features available. One can easily go through it. And the next one is important, is preview. We have prepared questions. We want to see how that look like, so that if at all any corrections are there, we can correct it before sending. We can preview our form itself. So if we click on that preview, it will be displayed like this. Who is the current education minister, some options, and what are all educational. You can see this radio button. Radio button means circle. That means only one option is correct. Whereas this square brackets means you can select how many we want. Here, whereas if you select this R, automatically only one will be selected. Here also for each person we have to select one. You can select only one. Whereas if these are all square brackets, then you can select for that person more than one also. Okay. For example, I have submitted. So the response has been added. You can check here now responses. There is one response from particular person. Okay. In this way, one can create Google Form with number of questions as well as, and we can see the preview before submitting our form. And there are settings. These are all very important. There are settings available for this every Google Form. If we click on the settings option, it will come here. You can see that collect email addresses. It is always good to enable this one, collect email addresses, so that the first question will be again enter your email address. This will be stored at one place, and limit to one response. If you don't want to submit anyone more than one time, then you enable this limit to one response. So user should log in to submit. And we can give option whether edit after submit is required or not. If we enable this, whoever submitted, they will receive a mail having option to edit that form. So if we click on this edit after submit, then there are presentations. So using this confirmation message, you can give a confirmation message. Suppose you can say thank you for your submission. So they will see after once they submit the Google Form. And there is this Google Form. We also have a extra option called quizzes. So if we click on this quiz, there you can see that make this as a quiz. If we enable this, make this as a quiz, then whatever questions we have typed it, they will be considered as a quiz questions. Obviously, once if it is a quiz, we have to assign marks for that. Okay. So once we enable this, then some features will come here. Once we enable this, then there are immediately after each submission, we can release the grade, so that if student attempt the quiz, immediately you will see his answers. Or if there are some questions which teacher has to check manually, then one can click later after manual review. Okay. And students can see missed questions, whatever questions they have missed it. Correct questions, they can see how many marks they got. These are all different options one can select it. Okay. Suppose we have selected it. Once we make it this as a quiz, under presentation tab, if you see here, there is an option called shuffle question order. So if we enable this shuffle question order, same set of questions will be displayed to students in different order, so that the copying can be restricted at some stage. Okay. So now we just go through how one or two questions. What is the difference between a normal Google form and a Google form as a quiz? So I have enabled this as a quiz. Click on this. Okay. Now if you go to questions here, for example, this is our question. And now because we have enabled as a quiz, you can see that this has extra option. If you don't enable as a quiz, this answer key tab won't be available. This answer key is available only if we make it as a quiz question. That means here we have to give which is the correct answer and how many marks are there for that particular question. So once we make this Google form as a quiz, we have to give the details here in this answer key tab. So click on answer key. Once we click on answer key, it will ask which is the correct answer. Suppose I'll select this as Mr. Y is the correct answer. Then at here, there are points one can give for this question. Suppose I will say this is for 2 marks. So this is the answer, and whoever answer it, they will get 2 marks. And now click on done. You also have add answer feedback. So add answer feedback means, for example, related to this answer, you want to write something, then you can write here. Okay. If student want to learn more thing, then you can give this as add answer feedback. Click on done. So this is the only difference between a normal Google form and a Google form as a quiz. So if you enable Google form as a quiz, you have extra option here, answer the key, that you have to click on that. Here, for example, this is next question, answer key. I'll click on answer key because this is a multi correct answer question. I'll say that Google Forms is also correct, Google Classroom is correct, Facebook is not correct. And for each one, I'll consider 1 point. Suppose I say 2 points. Then click done. In this way, we will set answer key for each question if it is a quiz. And not only we are making here, you can, as I explained earlier, if it is a quiz, you have option for shuffle option order also. So you can shuffle not only shuffling the questions, we can shuffle options among that question also. If we click on this, then those things will be shuffled. Okay, fine. So we have seen how to add a question, and if at all you want to make it that as a quiz, you have to extra give the information about which answer is correct and how many points are required for that. Okay, this is the simple way of creating a Google form. So now assume that we have created a Google form with these many questions. Okay, because I have enabled collect email address, you can see that now the first question is enter your email address. Okay. So we have created questions, we have enabled this as a quiz, and we have given marks to each question. Now we are ready to send that Google form to our students, suppose. Then where we can see that, here you can see that there is an option called send. Okay, so if you click on this send button, this will come. In many ways we can send this Google form, one by mail, entering manually email address, or if we click on this option link, so there will be a link available to your Google form. Usually it will be long form. Best way is click on this shorten URL, so that URL will be made it short. Click and copy this. So you have copied this one. Now you can share with anyone. This is one way, and easiest way, best possible way to do is you take this link, make it shorten URL, and copy this and paste it anywhere. Suppose if we paste it somewhere here, then you can see that this form is ready to submit. Okay, so you can share form in that way. Or the other option is embedded HTML. So whoever having website, if they want to put it on their website, this Google form, then using this you can put it there. Using the whoever know about HTML, they can understand easily. If you put it this one, this form will be embedded in their website itself. Okay, so in this way we can share it from Facebook, we can share it to Twitter. This different ways we can send our form. Okay, and if you see this vertical 3 dots, there are some more options are available for that. If you click on this vertical 3 bars, what you see here is make a copy. So if what is meant by make a copy, whatever questions you have created, you can, if you want to do some small changes and send as another one, then you can click on make a copy and save it as a different one, and you can make changes. Move to trash, everyone knows it, you can delete it. You can take the print of these questions, add collaborators. If you are working something which is interesting on research and so on, one can add collaborators so that they can also edit questions. And there is one interesting one called add-ons. So if you click on these add-ons, it will take to the there, just like Google Play Store, where it's taking time to open here, but usually now it is open. So for example, form notification, form publisher, there are so many different available add-ons are there for our Google form to make it more effective. For example, if we click on this form notification or Google form email notification for forms, if we click on this, we can set time for Google form and so on. Okay, fine. This you will learn at later stage. Now you can click on this. So we are ready now in a position to, we have created a Google form, we have added so many questions, and then we have seen how to preview it, and then we can also learn how to send a Google form, right? This is about a quick introduction about Google form. Now, in our next, in this demo, next topic is Google Classroom, which is very, very useful and interesting thing, where one can connect students. One second. Yes. Now we move on to the second topic, which is interesting one, Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, students and teachers can connect together no matter where they are. You can share your, as a teacher, you can share the information, study material, or any reference links so that students can read on their own convenient time. Or you can conduct assignments, you can conduct quiz, you can you can analyze their performance through their grades. So Google Classroom is one of the interesting features of app developed by Google. So let's see now how one can create a Google Classroom, how to create a class inside that, and how we can invite students to join that one. Right? So to go to Google Classroom, one can obviously search from Google Classroom. So I search here Google Classroom. Then it takes to the classroom management, teaching and learning. You click on this, one can click on this go to classroom. So click on go to classroom. Again, it will ask with our account details. As I have already entered, it directly take to the classes. And this is how the Google Classroom look like. Okay. Here, for example, I have so many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes I already have. If you are first time new user, then you won't be seeing any classes here. At that time, what you have to do is, if you see this at the top, there is a plus symbol. If you take to that plus symbol, it says create or join a class. So you can, as a teacher, you can create a class or you can join somebody else created class also. So let's click on this. We'll create a class first. As a teacher, we'll create a class. Click on create class. Then a pop-up comes. It's saying that you have agreed terms for Google. You click on that. You read, because as an education, if we are working in college or institution, we should tie up with Google for freely to use this feature. Okay. So suppose I agree. Then it says class name, demo class. Okay, I just click on demo class and select section, subject, room. They are all optional. If you want, you can select. For example, I write here mathematics. Then create. So it takes a few seconds to create the class, and this is as simple as creating class. Just click on plus symbol, give your class name, and if necessary subject. Then just click on create, and it takes few seconds to create class. And once the class is created, yes, now our class is created. You can see here, class name is there, demo class, because I have given that as a demo class. Then if you see here below to that class name, there is a class code. So every class is identified by unique class code. And this class code is very, very useful because if you want to see enlarge, click on this square one. This is the class code. One can share with students. So we share this class code with our students so that they will join our class using this class code. So one way, best possible way, an easy way to add students is sharing the class code with our students. But make sure that if somebody have this class code, they can also join. So we have to take some precautions that where we are sharing this class code. If we are having a closed group with our students, we can share this class code there. Students will join our class. Okay. Or obviously there is another way to join students by inviting them through mail. If we send them mail, then they will join. How we'll see that? If you see here people, there is a people option here. You click on people because there are at present no students are there. You can invite students as well as teachers into your class. So to invite student, you click on plus symbol. If you give plus symbol, it will ask either type a name or mail. Suppose I write some mail here. Then it will be sent to that particular mail asking to join this class. And student, there will be instructions will be given to student how to join those class and so on. You click on this invite, it will be, that message will be sent. Okay, couldn't invite, that's fine. Right. This is one way to how many students you want to join, that many you can type those email IDs here and start inviting. They will be receiving with instructions how to join this class. The other way, as I already explained, you can always share this class code with students. They will. Similarly, teachers can also, you can invite by mail or by class code. So once we added people, then so we have created a class, then we have added few people by either by giving this code or by manually sending invitations to students. Let's go to, I will show you another class where already students are there. For example, yes, I'll take to commutative algebra. This is the class in 2017-18 we had. You can see that so many messages we have shared with students and students have replied also. Okay, these are all the activities during that class. Now, if I click on people, you can see that there are so many students are there. Their details are available. Okay, this many students are there in my class, commutative algebra. If you want to particularly go to about some student, you can click on these 3 vertical dots, email that particular student if you have any query regarding. Okay. This is about people. Now, classwork. The most important thing is after creating a class, adding students, what we can do in that class. So click on classwork. Then you can see that there is a plus symbol. And whatever we did already, it will show here. Internal marks, seminar, assignment 1 and so on. But for a new person, these things won't be visible here. So just click on create. So if we click on create, there are few options. For example, one can create an assignment, one can create quiz, one can post one question if you want daily to make a classroom more interesting. Students, they can learn, they can start answering. So instead of if you don't want to post quiz every day, but you can post a question every day. So you have an option to post a question. You have very interesting one to share material with students and reuse post. Suppose you have posted some post earlier. If you want to reuse it, you don't need to type it, just take from here and you can do it. So these are all the different options. I just quickly explained one or two, how one can create some, for example, assignment. Assignment is very interesting one. Suppose click on assignment. Whoa. So you give one title. So some title is there. Suppose because it's a commutative algebra. So I'll write here exact sequence. So my assignment is on exact sequence. You can write whatever instructions you want to give it for students. Then here you can see that there is an add symbol or plus create symbol. So this plus create symbol means you can create online by clicking this. Suppose if you click on this create, it shows options, documents, slides, sheets, drawings, forms. These are all supported by Google. Just like what you have MS Office, similarly Google has Word file, PPT, sheets, drawings, forms. So you click on this and it will take to the browser. You click any one and it will be automatically updated here, uploaded here. If you have already typed one, then you can add using this button. So if you click on add, there is an option called Google Drive. So if your information is already, if your assignment is already there in your Google Drive, simply click on that and select that particular version or link. For example, your topic is there in YouTube. You can give this YouTube link. People will read that, and based on that, you can ask questions. Directly, you can give YouTube, or you can give any link. This here, you can give any link, or even if you have a file from your computer, click on file, and whatever files you have, select files from your device. Suppose I have this, assume that this is my assignment. I can upload here. Okay, so based on the size, it takes some time, and once it is uploaded, you can see here assignment is there. So the students can, here you have three options for students. Students can view file or students can edit file. Make a copy for each student, so that if you click on this make a copy for each student, every student can have their own, they can download their copy. If we click on student can view only, they cannot download, they can only view this, they cannot reply or they cannot change actually. This is one way to assign the assignment, and there are options available here. For example, how many marks we want to give. Suppose for this assignment I want to give 15 marks or 5 marks. Or if you don't want to say that I don't want to give any marks, then you can always select ungraded. So it is just an assignment, there are no marks are assigned. Then you can give a due date option also. So in due date option, here you can select, for example, 1 week, how much time we require. Usually if we give, for example, now I am posting, I will give 16th is the time. If you want, we can give it, otherwise it will be set as 16th May is the due date. In this way one can, and here if you click on this right type corner, there is an option called assign. Immediately one can assign, or you can schedule it later. Suppose tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. 10:30 a.m. it should post in this classroom. You can schedule it, or you can click on assign. So if I click on assign, it will be assigned to this classroom. So that is here. Assignment 1 exact sequences is assigned. There is a due date is also visible here. Okay. In this way, one can create a classroom. In this classwork, we can create assignment. Similarly, one can create a quiz. If we click on quiz, just now we have seen how to create a Google form. So by default, there will be option here, blank quiz, Google form. You click on that, it will take to there. You type the questions and automatically saved here. Or we have already created a Google form that we want to put it as a quiz here. You can add the Google form, whatever link we have shared, you can add that link here. So for example, if we click on this, this is the Google form which I have created, then I will add link here. So if we add link here, demo on creating Google forms. So that is already available here. Then you can, just like how we have right hand sides assignment features, for quiz also we have features. So here you can create due date, what time, 1 hour, 2 hours. So if you want to give today's time, you select today, and I can select time also, what time. So up to that time it is available. Okay. So May 11, 11:59 p.m. Up to that, this quiz is available to students to take this. Then you can, you select here. Okay. And once we are there, you give this title, suppose quiz 1. Now we are ready to assign. You can click on this assign. It will be assigned to that classwork. So in this class, we have seen that we have assigned one quiz and exact sequence. Here May 16th is the due date, and here May 11th is the due date for this quiz. Okay. In this way, we can create different assignment. We can create quiz. We can create question. We can create. For example, I will share you important on how to share a material with students. So click on material, then I will write chapter 1 material, and here you always have add option in Google Drive. So I'll click on Google Drive. It will take to my Google account. Here, for example, I have Scilab PPTs, or whatever things are available, it will be displayed. Here you can select anything if you want to share with your student, right? Let me select one which is some useful for students. Okay. For example, step-by-step guide is there. So I have selected that, then add. So if I select this step-by-step guide to view your ARPIT results. So if I want to share with my students this one, I can click this, then post. So it will be, you don't have permission to attach. Okay. This is not shared by myself. That's why. So let me add another one. I will go to Google Drive. Okay. For example, I'll take this. Okay. Now it is ready. I can post it. So my students will able to see that there is a chapter 1. If I click on this chapter 1, Scilab PPTs PDF file is available. So our students can see from their end this PPTs. So they can read it. In this way, one can easily share the material with students. Now, next, we have created a class. We have added the people. We have made some classwork to students. And the general thing is there, stream. So stream means whatever we have just, you can see that when I click stream, there are 3 activities. For example, I have posted, shared a material, quiz, assignment. And whatever messages you want to keep, you can put keeping here. Here directly you can see that share something with your class. I can say tomorrow there is a class at 10 a.m. Just post it. While posting, you have option, you can add it again. Wherever you have add option, this 4 will be always available. If you want to put it some information, add there, otherwise just post it. So students will, everybody will see here, tomorrow there is a class at 10 a.m. Okay. And once we take exam and so on, then one can see the performance of students by going to this grades. So if you click on this grades, you can see for this class, I have conducted quiz 1, exact sequences, assignment, then such things are there. Okay. So depending on their thing, here you can see the marks. Some are manually added, some are automatically added. So if you want to, that person, if it is assignment, you can add manually. For example, I have assumed that I have assessed his performance is like 45 out of 100. So I can click this so that he got 45 out of 100 and so on. So in this way, if you have conducted quizzes, then auto grading is there. Obviously, all marks will automatically come here for each and every students in this class. If it is a manual grading, one should manually enter this grading here. Okay. This is all about Google Classroom. It is very, very easy, effective way to use and stay connected with students. Their main, one of the streamline is that make it assignments, quizzes, all those things in paperless way. You no need to have any paper to assess students' performance. I hope you like this Google Classroom, how to create. And so if you click on these classes, these many classes are there. Whenever you want to create a new class, you just click on this plus symbol and do the things. Organizers also requested me to just say a few things about important about Google Drive. This Google Drive is a very, very useful tool where you can store your information in the drive, and wherever you are, if internet is there, you can access it. Okay. So I'll just quickly go through it, how one can upload data in Google Drive, and whenever they want, how can they access it. For example, if you have some mark sheet, students are, as a teacher, you have some important documents, whatever certificates are there, you can upload it, and wherever you are there, you can access it, because nowadays everywhere we have internet connection. Okay. So just go to Google Drive. So if we go to Google Drive, free cloud storage for personal use, and then again it asks for email ID. Go to Drive. So go to Drive, and as I have already registered, it takes to this Google Drive. This is how Google Drive homepage look like. Here you have options plus new symbol, so you can create. If you click on plus, it will ask for file upload, folder upload, or Google Docs, Google Sheet, Google Slides, and so on. So whenever we want to upload as a single file, which is already there in our system, we want to upload it on our Google Drive. So click on file upload. So I clicked on file upload, then it will take to the wherever it is there. Suppose I want to upload this some information. I'll click on this, then it will be uploaded here. You can see here uploading one item. Okay, it is successful. It says that it is successfully completed. Right, click on. If you click on this folder where it is there, it will show this. Okay. Also, you have option. You also have option plus. Again, click on plus symbol. As a folder also you can upload. Assume that in your folder there are many files are there. Instead of uploading single one by one, you can entire folder also you can upload. If I click on this, select any one, then click on upload, it will be uploaded as an entire file, so that you can access those things anywhere, anytime if you have connected to internet. Then you can also have option here, shared with me. Somebody shared some file that you can access here. Some people have shared some files with me, so that I can access here depending on the permissions. They may say that I can only see the content, I may not able to download it. So while sharing, we can give always option what others can, how they can access it. Okay, so this way we have started uploading. And if you want to download this one, click on this and then right click, you can have here option called download. So that will be downloaded to our computer. So whatever files are there, you can download, and whenever you have some files in your computer, you can upload it. Okay, now assume that in my drive some information is there which is of suppose 100 MB. I want to share with somebody so that they can download and use it from there. Now assume, let me go through it. For example, this file I want to share with someone. Okay, let me go to that folder again, my drive, in this one. So this criteria 3.6, some name is there. If I want to share this one, so click on, right click on that, then there is an option here called share. So if you click on share, any file one whichever is available on our Google Drive, we can share with. So it will say add people and groups. I add, for example, then click on that mail ID. You can give option and send it. Here you have an option here. They can only view or they can edit. These two options are there. Suppose if we select view, then they can only view those files. They cannot download the files. Okay. So click on this view and send it. It will go to that concerned person where they can see this material. If we select editor and send it, then it will go to that concerned person and they can download, edit, whatever they want. In this way, one can use it, this Google Drive. Google Drive is very, very useful if you want to, you have prepared, for example, some talks, you have your PPTs, you upload here. So wherever you go to some place, if they request, somebody is requested, you don't need to carry it on pen drive or mail. If somebody requested, you can immediately share those information with those students. So Google Drive is very, very useful to keep your data. Every free Gmail user have 15 GB free space, and it is huge. We can have so many files, especially text files, and you can access anytime from anywhere. I hope these are the things which are useful, and in this current technology, updating to the latest technology is very, very essential. And to connect with students, we should be very, very aggressive in terms of using technology. And not only that, this COVID-19 is a alarming that we should prepare for digital mode of teaching, digital mode of online assessing, online sharing material. So in this scenario, this Google Forms and Google Classroom plays very, very important role. Of course, there are number of freely available alternatives. For example, Edmodo is one such learning management system where one can share the data, conduct exams, analyze the students, and through Edmodo, even parents can also be connected into that class so that they will lively see the performance of their children. Okay. I thank once again. Thank you very much.